Every year, I go into a lesson teaching you how to find all the best plays off FINVIZ.com. Doesn't cost any money whatsoever. You don't got to spend any money on scanners or screeners or any of that. You guys can go to FINVIZ.com and you can find some of the best breakouts, the best swing trades, the best long-term investments just by doing a few simple scans. That is what this lesson's all about. We do have some lessons from 2021, 2022, and I think it's time we start putting together the 2023, 2024 FINVIZ screener lesson. So if you guys don't know FINVIZ is a very popular website that the majority of traders use to be able to just see quickly what's the high of the day, low of the days on some of these stocks. We do have different news screeners, and the number one thing that's used is right here. This screener that can filter out what plays might be good investments for us. So as I do this, I recommend that you guys are on finviz.com with me and you guys can follow along because we're going to be going over a couple different settings that are going to help you based off what strategy you are currently looking for. So what we have, first things first, is we go to FINVIZ, we click screener, and then we click all. Now, the first thing that I want to be looking for is let's look for stocks that are going to be good swing trades. Swing trades to the upside. What are some good stocks that have some good long-term investment to it? If I wanted to hold a play for, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe I want to hold a play for a little bit longer. I don't want to just be day trading in and out. I want to jump into a stock that I think is going to have potential to be able to move on up for the next few weeks. Now, these are not long-term investments. These would probably be if you jump in and hold for 30 days, I think you could have a lot of success in it. So let's talk about that. I have a full-time job. I have some money. I don't want to be holding just nonstop. I want to be involved in the stock market, but I only want to hold for probably about 30 days before finding something new. Let's find a stock that could be filling into that strategy. Now, the first thing I do want to state is that not every play that comes on up is going to be a perfect match. We might have 20 plays or so, and then that's from there where you have to go ahead and do your own research and say, okay, is this a company that I actually like? But these are going to give us a great starting point and find us the chart setups that we really do enjoy. So first things first, team, is we have all these different columns. Now, I know it might be a little overwhelming at first, but to be honest, it's really not that overwhelming. When we take a look at the exchange, the majority of the time, the plays that we are going to be getting involved in are probably going to be on the NASDAQ because tech stocks, these are going to be all tech plays, and tech plays are going to be a little bit more volatile, which means they're going to be able to make you money much quicker. At the same time, it also means you could lose money much quicker as well off NASDAQ plays, but NASDAQ is where a lot of people put investments when they're trying to make that quick money right away. So NASDAQ is probably what you would want to click, but let's just kind of see what our options are first, and then we can go from NASDAQ. So when I'm looking for a stock that I want to hold for about 30 days or so, I want to be probably putting a lot to the positive, right? EPS growth. Let's go over to the positive side. EPS growth, positive size. Sales growth, positive. EPS growth, quarter over quarter, positive. EPS over the year, positive. Sales growth, positive. EPS growth, positive. Team, we're just looking at stocks that have positivity. Let's just filter out all the garbage plays right away. And one thing that you are going to realize is that if I go over to FINVIZ, this screener starts off with 8,633 stocks. That's how many plays are in the stock market at this time. 8,633 options. And just by filtering out some of the garbage plays and saying, all right, I want to be looking at stocks that are having some sort of positive return, we have already dropped on down to 313 plays. We have already filtered out over 8,300 stocks. So just by doing something as little as that, that's going to be pretty helpful for us. So let's keep going down here even more. Let's go with the 20-day moving average, the 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving average. Remember, these are plays that are not day trades. We actually want to be able to see these just consistently and continue to move themselves on up. So, you know what? I'm probably going to be looking for 200-day moving average. I want to be above this line. 50-day moving average. I want to be above this line. And the 20-day moving average, it's good to be above, but this one's going to be a little bit tougher to be above because it is going to be kind of up and down a little bit more quicker than the 250-day. So we're just going to start with the 250-day moving average at this moment and just make sure that we are above it. This comes down price on maybe your account. Do you have a larger account size? Are you okay with maybe doing options? So price, we can really lead for anything, but let's just say we have somewhat of a smaller account and we don't want to do any sort of option contracts. Just for now, we can always adjust this, but let's just do like under $40. We're not going to do some sort of crazy big play, but let's just do under $40 at this moment. Okay, performance, let's go with this month. right? This month, we want to be up. All right. I want to see stocks that are up this month, stocks that are moving in the right direction. RSI, this one is also going to be, I think, confusing to some traders. Is I always tell traders I want to be looking for stocks that are oversold, because when a stock is oversold, we have a lot of room to be able to climb. But it's going to be very difficult to look at oversold stocks that are above their moving averages and have positive returns. You can definitely fiddle with this a little bit, but I think it's going to take out most plays. Yeah, zero available, because it's kind of like we're going against the grain here. So what I would see is, okay, I want an overbought stock. Now, some people may say, whoa, Deck, why would I ever want to swing trade an overbought stock? Because an overbought stock is showing us that at least we're moving in the right direction. Now, I'm not saying do an overbought stock that's a 90 on the RSI, but maybe have an overbought stock that's like a 60 that still has room to run over the next few days, over the next few weeks, over the next 30 days here. So just by doing this scan right here, right, I'm going to make the assumption, when I hover my mouse over these charts, these are going to be stocks that are going to be moving on up, and that if I jump in on them now over the next probably 14 to 30 days, it's probably going to have some sort of consistent pattern along those lines. Because these are plays that have had growth over the last 5 years. These are plays that have growth quarter over quarter. These are plays that are above their moving averages. These are plays that are, again, slightly overbought, but not extremely overbought in any sort of way. So let's see what we have here out of our 11 options. ACMR. Notice how ACMR has gone from $12 all the way up towards $18.60. We're on a very nice climb, and this is a play that's moving nicely in a good direction. And this is a play that definitely, if it breaks $20, we could see a lot more. ARDX, a little bit smaller for me. This is a stock that's $4.57. So you got to be careful, to not get too involved with penny plays. BBW. Take a look at BBW right here. Nice, slow, and consistent uptrend. If you are going to be having lower risk tolerance, and you're saying, hey, I just want something very slow and consistent, you can go ahead and say, okay, hey, this is a play that I definitely like. This is a play that could definitely bring in some action for me. Boom. BOOM. Nice climb, nice move over on Boom. Look how consistent these plays are. CLS. Look at this. LYTS. A lot of these plays are gorgeous. TKC right here, and TWNK, a little bit more risky, but how awesome is this if I wanted to? Now, I personally would go over to my my scanners right here and type out maybe some of my 1 or 2 favorites that I think really have some potential. Maybe if I say, all right, hey, look at this, CLS. Deck CLS, this play has gone 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Take a look at CLS on this very nice climb. Maybe that's one I want to do some research on and maybe become a little bit more serious about jumping in on it. BBW right here. BBW, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, going on 4.5 months of a nice climb. From research-wise, I would say, okay, let's put some resistance across the board. You could see where we got rejected at the past. That would be a nice dip buy somewhere right around that 2650, where old resistance would hold up as new support. We also have ACMR right here. ACMR, this is a good play. I could see that this one is a little bit more high risk, high reward type of deal. I can see it's a little bit lower in price, $13 up to $20. We do have a little bit of higher lows at this moment, which is nice. I definitely would want it to try to hold somewhere around $18. And maybe if I see 1 or 2 green days working back up to $20, that's when I could jump in on this play. But hey, first scanner right here is in the books, and this is going to be helping you guys find the greatest setups that have swing trade opportunity. So I'm going to head on over to tradecaster.com right now, and I'm going to drop that to you guys over in the chat room, and this is going to be our swing trade link screener so that you guys are all good. So let's do this again. And let's filter this on out. Let's start fresh here, team. So we're going to FINVIZ.com. We're going to click screener. Let's start fresh at this moment and say, hey, Deck, you know what I want to be looking for? I want to be looking for stocks that I can do shorts on. I'm a big short trader. I'm a big, even put trader. I want to be looking for stocks that I think are going to collapse soon, that I can go against the grain and see this thing come all the way back on down. Hey, you know what? You're a little bit sneaky to be going against these plays, but I like your style, you little wild animal. So let's talk about them. Let's go ahead and break it on down. So let's click all at this moment. Now, what we could be doing is we could go negative, 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 right? And that should be showing us a lot of plays that are, consistently fading. But a lot of my fear is that I don't like getting involved in plays that are just so low that if any good news comes on out, they just pop right back on up. It's easier to make money on plays that are about to drop that have just spiked up to ridiculous highs. So we always hear, the term buy low, sell high, or sell high, buy low. We don't really want to be shorting at the low. So with me, hey, let's look on stocks that have very big spikes that have the next few weeks that are probably going to be able to come back on down. So what we could start off with at this moment is very simple and very easy. We have 8,633 stocks. Let's just, right off the rip right here, team. Right off the rip. Let's just go to RSI and click overbought. Boom. Overbought. That's giving me 2 plays. So maybe we got a little carried away here because there's only 2 options at this moment. So let's, tone it back and let's go overbought with a 70 or higher. And that's giving me 287 stocks. Okay, nice. So overbought with a 70 or higher. Now, let's again keep focusing on stocks that are going to be turning here soon. Stocks that are moving on up, and let's say change from the open. They're up today because we want to see these stocks still climb, but we want to know that they're going to be coming back on down here very soon. Let's say Gap, just up today. Let's go Performance. We want to see today up, okay? So I want to see everything up. Today up, RSI up, gapping up, change from the open, up, change, up. I want to see everything. Relative volume. I want to see that there's more traders than normal on this trade. So let's just go with like 2 times the average volume of what it usually brings in. And just to even tighten this up even a little bit more, let's try the overbought at 80. And now look at this, guys. We already have 14 plays. So these are all 14 stocks that I'm going to assume are having gap up, big spike, big move. And in the next upcoming days, the next upcoming weeks, these things are going to start turning and start falling back on down because they've just gotten a little too out of hand. That's what I'm picturing in my mind when I'm taking a look over on these plays here. And let's see if I'm going to be correct. ACB, straight up spike, getting ready for this one to start coming back on down. CGC, straight up spike, getting ready for this one to come back on down. CHA, a little bit low in volume. CNBS, just straight on up, getting ready for this one to come back on down. CRNX, little heads on up. CRNX today, team. CRNX, let's go check this one on out. If you guys haven't traded CRNX today, this was a play that had a very large gap up and then started coming back on down. Why does this one sound so familiar to us? This was the one that I shorted today and I was able to make $2,500 in profit off of. So the same things that I'm teaching you guys right now is how I'm able to find the plays that make me all my money that I trade every single day. So we have GCT. Look at how hard this one been spiking on up, coming on down. KNOP. Look how crazy that one is. Look at these guys. L-Fly, MJ. You're telling me that these plays are going to be able to hold their gains? These plays are just straight up moves that are not going to be able to hold these on up. They're going too up too quickly, and people are going to start dumping these off in the next few days here. So you want to continue to keep your eyes peeled over on CRNX, ACB, CGC, CNBS, GCT. Look how all these plays are basically just straight up movers. Let's kind of take a look over on some of them. Let's take a look over on KNOP. Very hard spiking. Most likely is not going to be holding those gains. GCT, very hard spiking. Most likely not going to be able to hold those gains. CNBS, very hard spiking. Most likely not going to be able to hold these gains. So I'm going to grab this, head on over to tradecaster.com, type out shorts, right? Shorting, or if you want to, put contracts, but these are going to be your shorting screeners. Make sure you guys are all set, ready to go. Our next one is going to be on breakouts. Everyone loves this. Everyone loves to say, Deck, how can we find the next potential breakout? How can I find the next big setup? How can I find the stock that is going to go sky high and go absolutely crazy? Well, I do got to put a disclaimer out here. Sometimes sky high plays do not just come straight off of chart setups. They are going to be coming off of news. They could be coming off of hype. They could be coming off global events. So it's just not just find the chart setup. This one's going to go bananas. But chart setups can definitely help. When you have things primed, it's going to be able to help it be able to spike a lot easier. So let's talk about all the different ways that we can find a play, be able to go on a very nice spike. Now, what you want to be looking for when you're talking about a very nice spike, and I know this looks already a little bit silly here, is this picture right here. And what this picture is this is what the idea of a perfect breakout setup looks like. A perfect idea for a breakout setup is going to be a strong past chart history pattern showing that it can go on a very big spike. Then it's also going to be showing a stock that's very low, like in the bottom right-hand corner of the chart. This means it's considered oversold. But the big thing is we can't just buy oversold plays. We have to buy stocks that are oversold that are starting to move themselves back on up that could hopefully lead towards a squeeze coming up in the near future. That is what we're looking at. That is what we're focusing on. And that's going to be able to make us the most amount of money in cash. So let's try to figure that out right now. So can we do that? Find these plays. I'm going to go to price and I'm going to be looking for under $50. Okay, that's going to already eliminate about 2,000 plays. Then we are going to go up to performance. Today, I want this stock to be up. Okay, now we might want to adjust week up or so, but let's just start with week up. Okay, today up, week up. That means we're starting to climb. We're making a nice move. But you could see probably a lot of these plays may be up, way too high already. Like ACB, the play right behind me right now, ACB, it's already up too high. So how can we fix this? We are going to have to say to ourselves, let's try to bring it down. So we are going to want to have oversold stocks that are starting to move themselves on up. So now we're saying to ourselves, all right, I want a stock that's climbing, but is at the very low and it's starting to bring in volume. Now, volume is going to be how many shares are traded from hand to hand. The more volume we have, the better. The more volume we have, the more activity we have. So I want to be finding stocks that are maybe just creeping with a little bit of volume slipping underneath the radar. So I'm going to go with like even just point over, maybe over 0.25. And that didn't take away too many stocks. It only took away about 25. But it basically is just getting rid of all the absolute dead ones. The ones that really don't mean anything to us whatsoever at all. And even just from this, I think we're going to be pretty good. Change from open, let's just go with up, and that's going to be solid. And right now we got 24 options. So in my mind, I'm thinking all about this picture, right? That's what I'm thinking about. In my mind, can I find this picture? Can I find this setup? And let's see what we have here. And this is where we're going to have to probably go through a little bit of work, have a chart open and see, can we find that next big, chart setup? Can we find that big stock that has a little bit of opportunity for us? DSGN, this is a play that, has gone from $7, getting a little bit of opportunity, breaking that 13 EMA. We can get a little bit of spike. Let's see if we can find something a little bit with a better setup, better opportunity here. And this is the part where I say, hey, it's going to take time, right? You have to be able to go through this weekly and maybe, again, find that one play that is going to be gorgeous. Like, I would like NFTG a lot if it was getting higher lows to the point where it was back above the 50-day moving average. So we're still going through some of these. What's this? SAGE. SAGE was at $60, fell on down to $16. It's oversold for sure. Stock is starting to move itself back on up at this moment. Just broke the 13 EMA. Room to run, maybe back up to $31. Probably my favorite play so far would be SAGE stock. Very big drop. People are starting to get a little dead cat bounce play, starting to break right around that 2175 old high area. Breaks through that. We basically have this big room to run all the way up towards that 50-day moving average. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But as I said before, team, not every play is going to be perfect. This is where you got to do your research and be able to figure out which one is going to be that perfect setup for you. TGTX. Again, we all have the same idea. Nice little gap downs, room to run, be able to spike back on up, buy low, sell high. I like the SAGE option we have out of this, but what it comes on down to is you have to do this weekly, find the plays that have that good setup. And as I talked about, sometimes, again, breakouts do come from hottest press releases. So, traders, I wanted to take this time, go over some FINVIZ screeners that you guys can use every single day, and I think that can really help perform and help you guys grow as a stock trader. I want to save you guys money instead of you guys going out and buying all these crazy expensive scanners that sometimes you don't need. Sometimes you can just get all this information for free right off FINVIZ.com. So awesome job, awesome work, and all I want to see you guys do is absolutely crush it. Shout out to you guys.